Hey, what's up, lightboltjoe here. Today we are going to discuss the 2017 drama comedy film, The Disaster Artist. This is directed by James Franco, produced by Evan Goldberg, Seth Rogen. This is based off of the book, The Disaster Artist. There's many, many other words after that. So this is about the making of the 2003 cult classic film, The Room. Written, directed, produced, executive produced, starring Johnny Wiseau and his friend Greg, whose last name I can't remember. They say it 1,000 times. So Dave Franco plays his character of Greg. James Franco plays his character of Tommy. And this is a biopic. Technically, this movie is a movie about the making of The Room and the relationship that Johnny and Greg have, the journey from them from going from San Francisco down to Los Angeles, and the turmoils throughout. This won James Best Actor, I think, Golden Globes for Best Actor for that award season. Zac Efron's in this for half a second. Josh Hutcherson is in this for half a second. So many people are in this film, and this was really good. I never watched it when it was in theaters. I never saw this movie. I just saw it now. This is really good. I got choked up at the end, and I think it has like a 91% on Rotten Tomatoes. Like, critics loved this movie because it shows the turmoil and the challenge of being an artist and making sure that, you know, you're not just a flake, you're not a fluke, you have a name, you have a reason, you have talent in some form. How can it be expressed? How can the world appreciate the greatness that, you know, you believe that you have? And the challenges of actually making a film and creating it and then actually having it. So just because your vision doesn't turn out the way you think it is doesn't mean people don't like it. And that was a prime moment between the Franco brothers right at the end of the premiere of the film. So to have the little, you know, details at the end of that, you know, that's a cult classic film. The film actually made a profit, you know, after its original release. Not so much when it was released in 2003. Like, it's cool knowing these behind the scenes moments and a lot of things. Like, you always wonder like how certain things were made. One of my favorite tapes, like a VHS tape growing up, was the making of Jurassic Park. I shit you not. One of my absolute favorite things to watch when I was a kid constantly was the making of Jurassic Park. It was its own separate VHS tape. It wasn't a behind the scenes, you know, special bonus edition on a DVD. I mean, eventually it was, but it was its own separate tape. And I loved watching how they made it, how the puppeteers, how to make the dinosaurs, and how the Stan Winston, you know, when he was still alive, how that complete, you know, studio made the dinosaurs, made the animatronics, how the animatronics fit in with the actors. Like, I loved watching the making of it. And I really wish there was more making of things for films, whether it was, you know, the greatest bad film ever produced, aka the Disaster Artist, or it was, you know, something like the recent Spider-Man, right? Spider-Man No Way Home, right? We have a lot of the interviews from the actors of what they thought when they first got the scripts, and, you know, secretive meetings of Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield coming back as their Peter Parker characters, like all these things. But like, what other behind the scenes that we don't know, that we didn't see? You know, Tom Holland dating Zendaya, like, what those relationships, right? So that's why this movie's really good, because it shows us a behind the scenes of a making of a film. Whether the film made it or not doesn't matter. It's still the artists in their environment working with heat, working with lighting difficulties, working with, you know, forgetting their lines. Like, that's awesome. That behind the scene moment of trying to figure out if it's going to work or not, it's just so cool. Doubting your self-worth, realizing the vision wasn't as you planned, but people still enjoy it for a different reason. Like, it's so cool on an artistic front, and that's why it did so well with critics. That's why James won an award for it. This is a great movie. I'm glad I watched it now as compared to 5 years ago. I think I would have appreciated it a lot more as a aging artist. I have a lot more respect for this film now, approaching 32, than I would have probably at 27 when this first came out. So yeah, great film to end our Seth Rogen marathon with. I will say that. On to the next marathon. Let's see what's going on next. I got some things to think about, but we'll see. We've been doing a review a day or more for I don't even know how long, a very long time, well over a year, probably close to 2.5 years. I don't even know. Couldn't even tell you. But yeah, on to the next review, whatever it may be. Mucho mahalo.